Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to be changing up the channel a little bit, and as the title says, yes, I'm keeping the ST. I'm going to tell you why and what my plans are for it next. Stay tuned. I had other plans for this channel. As I started watching the episodes that I did on building this Focus, I realized that the way that I wanted the channel to go is not the direction that I went. I wanted this to be more of an adventure. I wanted to show you guys the problems that I went through and the little things like that. And it ended up being more of, I guess, a how-to. And I really didn't mean for it to be like that, which if it helps you guys out, that's awesome. But know this, I didn't know what I was doing. This was my first time doing it ever. I watched YouTube videos. I read forums like crazy, a lot of Google work. To figure out what I needed to do to build this car and everything that I did to it. So from here on out, that is how I want it to be. I'm going to make it more of a vlog of what I'm doing around the garage, what I'm doing around the house, what I'm working on, how I'm doing it, the problems that I run into. And because that's one big thing that I did not do. And that's one big thing that I got feedback from people was that I didn't, it looks like I just, threw everything on there with no problems. And, it took an hour to do, and that's not the case. I ran into issues and it took me a long time. I was staying up late at night on my phone, researching how to fix stuff and find things out. So I am going to be doing a video on the problems that I ran into initially, but going forward, everything that I do to the car, I'm going to keep everybody informed on everything that I'm doing. My original plan was to get the Focus done, turn around, sell it, buy something else, and start working on that. There's a few reasons why I decided to keep the Focus. And one of the reasons why, big reason, is because I put a lot of money into it. A lot of money, a lot of time. And obviously this is my project, and so I'm very proud of it, and I hate to just get rid of it as soon as I finally finished it. Not to mention there's a bunch of other things that which brings me to my second reason, is there's a bunch of other things that I really want to do to this car. And the third and final reason, if you guys have never driven one of these cars, they are so much fun. I realize it's not huge horsepower numbers, but this car is awesome. It's little, it's nimble. The shifting of it is smooth. Just the car itself, it just feels awesome. I mean, my truck has literally sat. Like, I drive this car everywhere now, and I love it. The other thing that I want to do with the rest of this video is I'm going to go over the car and tell you kind of what the future plans are, what I plan on doing to the car going forward. All right, guys, so first and foremost, the first thing that I definitely want to do to this car is I want to paint this front bumper. As you can see right here, there's a crack that's split right there. You can see that it's cracking all right in here. And then down here, there is some chipping of the white paint. And it looks like it's black underneath. This car had some front end damage on it, I know, or it was in a front end, something happened to the front end of it. If you pull up the Carfax on it, it does show that there was an accident report in Austin, Texas. I live close to Dallas, so I know that something happened to this front end. Now, this all happened when it was at about 2,000 miles. So it was when the car was brand spanking new. The car has about 55,000 miles on it now. There's no issues with it. What I think happened is they pulled this bumper from a black Focus ST and turned around and resprayed it with white paint and clear coat. And they didn't do any kind of sanding or anything like that. So there wasn't really much for this to stick on. So yeah, so that's gonna be my next plan, is to get this thing painted. After that, one of the things that I would like to do, I don't know for sure if I'm going to do it, I'd like to add a front splitter once I get the bumper painted. I'd like to do some side skirts, side splitters, and then possibly a rear diffuser in the back as well. And I'd like to do it in all black. One other thing that I would like to do to the car is there is a little dent, right? Let me see if you can see. Yeah, you can see that in there, kind of. There's one right in there, and then there's one right down here. There's nothing in the paint or anything like that, and it's just very small. But I would like to get that fixed. Those are really the only major flaws, as far as the exterior goes. Everything else is super clean on this car. Oh, there is one other thing back here in the back. So there is this spot, and I don't know if any of you, if you know, please comment below, let me know. But this, I don't know what this is. I've tried buffing it. I've tried doing everything I can. I have no idea what this mark is right there. So yeah, I'm gonna try, if the front bumper goes well, I may pull this one off and repaint that one as well, but we'll see. Another thing that I may or may not do is I wanted to add a rally stripe down the side, just the driver's side. And I actually bought some vinyl off of Amazon. So what I wanted to do was, this is a 5-inch strip of red, and then I did a 1-inch strip of black, and then I wanted to run them alongside each other and then have this nozzle be the split in between. So just letting you know, this was actually supposed to be part of the 10 episode series that I did with the car. And I laid the vinyl on, I got everything lined up. I mean, the front looked really good. The problem is that there were so many air bubbles. I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't have I don't have any experience with vinyl whatsoever. I do have a friend that actually does wraps, and I called him after I did all of this and was explaining what I did. And the first question he asked was, where did I get the vinyl from? When I told him it was a cheap Amazon vinyl, he was like, there's your problem. So just letting you know, if you're gonna do something with vinyl, wraps, whatever, you've got to get the good stuff, because it's completely flat underneath, is how he explained. So what you need is 3M or Vivid, one of those better brands, because they actually have air channels underneath the vinyl within what sticks to the car, so that when you take your squeegee and squeegee it out, that air has somewhere to go. Whereas this, when you lay it down, and I did, I mean, I took it piece by piece and tried using my squeegee to get it out, and I just could not. I mean, it was horrible looking. I mean, from a distance, it looked really cool, and I'm disappointed that it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. But once you got up close, I mean, it just looked awful. As far as performance upgrades go, I would like to do another tune on this thing. I'd like to do it on a higher octane fuel. So either an ethanol blend like you see most guys do, but the upside to that is it is readily available. I've got a Racetrack gas station right up the street that's got E85. I have tested it. It's actually only 70%. I've tested it twice now, and it's 70% both times. So the only downside to that is that every single time I go, I'm going to have to do the calculations, run the gas tank dry, make sure that it's still 70%. And that sounds like it may be a little bit difficult. The other option that I may go with is a water methanol injection. The upside to that is I don't ever have to worry about blending any kind of fuel. It just mixes in. Once you get it tuned, it's tuned. The downside to it is that the tank does run dry, and if the tank does run dry and I don't refill it, we're gonna have problems. The other problem that you could run into is if the pump goes bad and you don't know it, you're gonna have problems there. So I don't know which one I'm gonna go with yet, but we'll see. If anybody has done these things already and you have good things or bad things to say, if you'd wish you'd done the other versus what you actually did, let me know. Definitely let me know, because I'm curious as to what other people have done. The last thing that I would love to do to this car is build a motor. I've never done it before. I feel confident that I can do it. The thing is I don't want to do it to this motor. This motor is good. It runs great, and I hate to pull apart a perfectly good motor to build up another one, and things go wrong. So my goal is to find one that is trashed, or not trashed, but a motor that's been blown for a cheaper price, and then build it up from there, and then do the motor swap. That way, if something goes wrong with the motor that I've built, I can always swap the stock one back in and be good to go. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. There's not much else that I really want to do to the car at this time. Painting the front bumper is definitely going to be my next goal. And that's definitely the next thing that I want to do. I am going to bring you guys, or I am going to make a video for you guys, all of the issues that I did run into when building this car. That way you guys can kind of get a sense of, what I went through. And then if you're doing this yourself, like I've already said, this will be a great little tutorial on, what mistakes not to make. I've been driving the car since, I finished the last episode of the series at the end of May, I think is when it was. So I've been driving it in June, July, August. We're at the end of September, so 4 months now. And I mean, it's awesome. I have had zero issues out of it. It's so much fun to drive around town. You still get great gas mileage as long as you're not just getting on it really hard. And then those few times where I'm hitting the back roads over to a buddy's house, man, this thing rips. but I love it. So I am not disappointed with anything that I've done so far with the car. But I hope that you guys will stay tuned for what's coming up, and I will see you guys in the next episode.